Make sure you guys give me a follow over on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. We hit our goal in July. We're trying to get to 300 followers, and we succeeded. We did that. You guys did an outstanding job. And our August goal is to try to get to 400 followers. So do me a favor. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter at StoneShields_. We're going to have all of our content posted to my Twitter page, and you also get all the latest Bengals news, rumors, updates. You will find them there as well, and even some highlight videos that you have posted up on my Twitter right now. So check it out and give me a follow at StoneShields_ on Twitter. Who Dey Nation, what is going on? Stone Shields on hand for another edition of Bengals Breakdown, and happy game week to everybody out there. The Bengals will take the field against the Buccaneers on Saturday, and we're certainly excited about that. But coming up on today's show, Lou Anarumo's defense really shined for Cincinnati in their Sunday practice, so we'll dive into that. It was really the defense's best practice of training camp thus far. We'll also take a look at the quarterbacks. Another brilliant day for Joe Burrow. Jake Browning also got a lot of reps at yesterday's practice, so we'll have that to discuss. And, of course, as we're around this 10-ish practice mark for Cincinnati, the injuries have, stacked up a little bit. So we always got to evaluate what the injury report looks like, and that will close out our show today. But first, let's get into what exactly the practice breakdown looked like for Cincinnati. And they were doing these move-the-ball drives. So essentially, there wasn't a set number of plays that the offense was going to get. If they had the ability to keep moving the chains, they got to stay out there and keep competing. So that's what they were doing at yesterday's practice. And only one of those drives resulted in a touchdown. Like I said, the defense played really, really well for Lou Anarumo and that defensive staff. Trenton Irwin was the only guy that caught a touchdown. We will get into that a little bit later. But 5 third-down incompletions and 1 interception for Cincinnati. So certainly good to see the defense perform well on third down. As we know, last year in 2023, that certainly was an issue for Cincinnati. Let's take a look at what Dan Hoard posted on Twitter. Dan Hoard, of course, the voice of the Bengals, always does his 5 observations from every Bengals training camp practice, and this one in particular stood out to me. He said, rookie safety Dejan Anthony picked off Jake Browning for his 3rd interception of camp. He's getting snaps with the first team in dime packages. He's a really competitive kid and wanted to be Coach Hard, said safeties coach Jordan Kovacs. That's a really good combination to have. Of course, the Bengals took Dejan Anthony in the 7th round of this most previous draft, and you really like what Dejan Anthony brings to the table. This is a kid that started out playing his college ball at the D2 level and kind of just had to continue to progress his way up, spend some time at Liberty before finishing his college career at Ole Miss. And to see him make an impact as a 7th-round guy certainly is very makes you very happy as a Bengals fan that they might have gotten a steal in Dejan Anthony, late in the draft. We'll see exactly where he lands in terms of the depth chart. We'll take a look at that in tomorrow's video. But for now, Dejan Anthony has had a really, really good training camp, 3 interceptions, and we'll see if he can keep it up once the preseason fully kicks in. So that leads us to the pinned comment of today's show, your first opportunity to get interactive with us here at Bengals Breakdown. Will Dejan Anthony make the roster? Type Y for yes or N for no in the comments section. Of course, the Bengals really fall in love with their draft picks. It's pretty rare for them to cut one of them. They usually keep them all. So let us know what you think in the comments section. Type Y for yes or N for no. Joe Burrow had another fantastic practice yesterday. He's really had just a magnificent training camp from start to where we're at right now. And, he really showed off his deep ball last week. And then yesterday he had a nice little touch pass to Trenton Irwin, which was the only touchdown of the day. Really dropped it in the bucket. Let's take a look at what Jay Morrison of Pro Football Network had to say. Of course, he had boots on the ground at Bengals practice. He said, on a 3rd and 9 play from the 13-yard line, Burrow threw maybe his prettiest pass of camp when he dropped a perfectly placed fade into the arms of Trenton Irwin for the only touchdown during today's team periods. Rookie 5th-round pick Josh Newton had good coverage on Irwin, but the savvy vet used a subtle shove to create separation before bending toward the back pylon and hauling in Burrow's throw. So this is kind of the stats that you saw from Joe Burrow yesterday. Obviously, those the drives stalling there on drives 2 and 3. Not exactly what you want to see, but they did get it into the end zone. Of course, that second drive was stalled when Geno Stone had a really nice PBU on a pass intended for Andre Iosivas, and then on that third drive, Joe Burrow actually kind of missed Iosivas a little bit wide on his route. So that was really the only shaky throw from Burrow at practice yesterday. Things did not go as well for backup quarterback Jake Browning. I believe he was 5 of 12 and had an interception. So it really never was able to get things going with that second unit. As you can tell, the first 2 drives stalled. And, he missed Iosivas on a 3rd and 7 on that first one. And he threw one off Kwame Lassiter's hand on a 3rd and 10. So really being in, long third down situations for those 2 drives for Browning. And then, of course, that third drive is where that interception from Dejan Anthony hit. So not Browning's best day, but he has certainly proven that he is a viable backup to Joe Burrow, and I'm really excited to see Jake Browning back out there and play for Cincinnati in the preseason. But really the focus of the day was the defense. They were the guys out there really making plays. So do you think the Bengals defense will be better in 2024? Type 1 for yes or type 0 for no. That's kind of one of the things that held the Bengals back last year. I think people forget how good the defense was when they were going to AFC championships. That defense was really locked in. So Bengals certainly going to need that defense to return to that form. So let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think the Bengals defense will be better in 2024? I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Game Time because today's show is presented by Game Time. And I love the summer because Major League Baseball is in full swing, and I love making the walk down the street from our Chat Sports offices to a Reds game every chance I get, even though I'm still recovering from that no-hitter over the weekend. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. And with the NFL season just over a month away, you can get tickets to watch the Bengals at Paycor Stadium. And Game Time doesn't just have sporting events either. They also have concerts, comedy, theater, and more. And they also have FC Cincinnati tickets. So get down there to TQL Stadium. Check out an FC Cincinnati game courtesy of our friends over at Game Time. If you buy your tickets from Game Time, it'll be a great experience for you. It's a great venue, and I highly recommend it. And I love the zone deals. You choose the section, and Game Time chooses the seats for you. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off first purchase. Check out gametime.co for last-minute tickets. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, I want to circle back on the Trent Brown front. Of course, we mentioned this on yesterday's show. I was fully expecting him to go out there and practice. This is the tweet the Bengals put out yesterday. We have made the following transaction. Trent Brown has passed the physical and is cleared to practice. But Trent Brown was actually not out there practicing with the team yesterday, and instead he was on the rehab field, which is where he's been, throughout the entirety of this training camp to this point. Once again, let's take a look at what Jay Morrison of Pro Football Network had to say about the Trent Brown situation. He said he didn't practice, reporting instead to the rehab field where he has been a staple since July 23rd when he reported to camp feeling tightness and landed on the non-football injury list. Every practice Brown doesn't participate in is another step toward rookie first-round pick Amarius Mims winning the starting job. All right, so at some point, this right tackle battle is really going to heat up, right? We spent a lot of time talking about it, but we really haven't seen these guys go out there and compete against one another because, of course, Trent Brown hasn't been out there. But I think today is the day. Dan Hoard reported that you should expect to see Trent Brown out there on the practice field for Cincinnati today. So I expect us to really see this right tackle battle, come to fruition, and we'll see. We'll see. May the best man win in that regard, and we'll see how they fare going forward. Moving on to some other names. Obviously, we got a lot of names here. We'll buzz through them pretty quickly. Jermaine Burton had the ankle issue, but he returned to practice, and he also was out there for team drills as well, so he's going to be just fine. Sheldon Rankins missed practice. It appears like it's going to be a veteran day off situation for him, okay? So not too much to worry about there. Cole Burgess, the UDFA wide receiver, has missed some time. He missed the last 2 practices. Deontay Smith has been out for, I believe, 4 practices, so he certainly hasn't been out there for a while. And then we talked about yesterday, Hubbard and Henderson, those guys are still week to week. There's no rush with them, right? Zach Taylor, said that if it were the regular season, these guys would be out there. It's very much precautionary for those 2 guys. But the main concern here is Sample. And I find it interesting that we haven't gotten a ton of information out about Cam Sample. The Bengals have kind of been hush about it. The media hasn't really been able to report too much, but I am worried that it is a pretty significant injury for Cam Sample. And that Bengals defensive line room right now, tackles and edge rushers alike, is pretty thin, given, of course, Hendrickson and Hubbard being out there as well. So it's a bit concerning, but it's going to give the younger guys a lot of opportunity to go out there and make a name for themselves, and we'll see how they fare going forward. And remember, we have our first watch party of the season coming up on Saturday for Bengals preseason game 1. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be a ton of fun. I'm going to be here. Chris is going to be producing that. It's going to be a great time. So hit that sub button so you don't miss out. That's youtube.com/BengalsTV.